more left, and look, you can always find a lot out with one to go, and no, we're not playing for the playoffs, but there's still things we can find out, and and I expect the guys that we have here to give it what they got one more time. That's the expectation.
Such as what are some of the things you can find out?
How players play, how they do on the road, maybe a second time, how they play at this position, how they handle the pressure, how they handle with nothing to play for. There's a little bit of everything. Just find a lot out.
Vets or injured players, if any of you decided won't play, this weekend?
Well, the injury report is we're pretty riddled right now. So I don't know,
I don't know. Some of those guys have been dealing with injuries all year. If those guys would be.
Yeah, no, I mean, we'll find more out here next day or two. I mean, if they can play, we're playing,
Possibility of playing some younger guys.
You next.
Any possibility of playing some younger? Are you going to treat this just like a normal week, or maybe give guys a few more reps that you maybe wouldn't? How do you want to approach it that way?
Yeah, I think if guys can't go because of injury, then the next guy up will go, young or old. It doesn't. Or young or veteran, I should say. Next best guy available.
St. Brown came out at the end of the game last week. Did he come out of that okay? Is there an update on it?
Yeah, I think long term he's going to be okay, which is good. That's good news.
The knee again for him on that play?
That's part of it, yep.
Maybe rephrasing Dave's question, is questionable different on an injury report when the game doesn't matter towards playoffs? Does it change the definition of that word at all?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think if we're sitting there borderline and the player, it could be hard, or we think they're setting themselves up for a long-term risk, then no, it's not worth it. But if it's the stuff doesn't feel good and it's bumps and bruises and it's then no, it's like the next game up.
For Amon-Ra, just since you said long-term he'll be okay, how about short-term? Does that seem to indicate that he wouldn't be available?
Day-to-day, yeah, day-to-day. He wants to go, and he'll be day-to-day. He's improved,
After the game, you have to look at everything, and there's this really big picture outlook of the organization right now. How do you keep your focus 100% right now on what's ahead with the Bears, or do you start dipping into some of the big picture stuff and getting a head start on it now, given the pace that I guess the offseason starts moving right away?
Yeah, well, I think there's things that you can't help but think about, since that game that go through my mind a little bit. But at the same token, I know we have one more, and I owe it to these guys, to the players and coaches, to be locked in for another game here, because it's not fair to go out there and say that we're going to do everything we can, prepare to win, but we're not really doing that. Then we shouldn't even go out there. So I'm not there yet, There's things that have crossed my mind, but I'm not. I'm so far from all that. Got to get ready for this one.
How have the Bears changed since that first meeting?
They're more polished. They're a better team. They've really, since that time, they lead the league in takeaways on defense. They're getting them, man. It's like we talk about. It's contagious for them. Those guys are getting them in a good way. Got one the other night. Once again, it turned it to a touchdown. So, and it's much more sound. DA's got his system in, and it's grown and developed. They're keeping teams out of the end zone, keeping the offense ahead. That's what you got to do on defense, man. Get the takeaways. That's big. And then offensively, they're more polished. Ben's done a good job. The system is in, and these little things that were there, game 2, game 1, they've begun to go away. They've got a run game. They found a run game. Play action pass. Caleb's playing really well. O-line's playing really well. Got a run game. Swift's running well. 25 is he's a downhill hard runner too. So tight end's playing good, both of them. Really all three of them. So, they're playing at a high level. They're doing things well, much more polished.
Gone through this as a player and a coach, Dan. Just when you've got a ton of guys that are going to be free agents, right? Like every year, every team is different. How much do you have to step back and appreciate, the guys that are here, that have been here through it all? How much do you emphasize that to the roster? Like, this is the last time this group's going to be together. Like, just, appreciate this last moment to enjoy this team.
Well, I think there is something to that, because it is the last time this group will be together. And, you go through that every year. And, it certainly, we're not where we want to be with one left, but at the same token, this group of guys has laid it on the line. They've come to work every day, bust their tail, and so really, it's you got one more to not let the guy next to you down. That's how I always felt as a player. It didn't matter how I felt or what I thought. I couldn't let that guy next to me down. That's the ultimate motivation.
With obviously been tough 3 weeks here, but is there any area in particular, position group, side of the football, whatever, where you'd really like to see a strong finish on Sunday?
Well, yeah, every group. I mean, that's look, there's a number of areas. I'd love to see. There's a lot of areas. I'd probably start with the O-line. Just want to see, and just a tick more, just a little bit better. See if we can polish some things up, work together, worker combinations, just a little bit. That's, but I can say that for every position too. I really can. Just like I can say that for us as coaches. We got to collectively all get better.
I asked you about Tyleek last week and his growth. Tate has played more than any of your rookies. I'm just curious, just going back to week one and maybe some of the communication struggles to where he's at now. How pleased have you been with his growth? How good do you feel about him kind of going forward with his career?
I'm sorry, you're talking about about Ratledge. There's been growth, and that's really what you want out of your rookies. You want to feel like that there has been growth taking place. Being between Graham for most of the year and Sewell has helped. But there's a ton of growth left. And, he's going to have to take another step. He's going to have to take another step next year, preferably this next game coming up, take another baby step here. But he's going to need to take another step, which he's got that and he's capable of.
What do you think his ultimate position is?
That's a good question. I know that we felt like he could be a center, and that's not off the table. We've watched him at guard. He played right guard in college. He's a good athlete. He's a big man. He can move. So we'll find out. We'll find out.
Depending on what Graham's status is, would you give him a look at center this week? Could that be in the mix at all? Or
I don't see that. Yeah, I don't see that.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.